I am at the Valley Brook trailhead of the Montour Trail. This is actually the first place that I made a video, so I don't know if I'll make another video again or not. Or I'll make the video, I don't know if I'll post it. Just sitting here waiting on a friend. So, I'm a little bit early. Let's go for a ride. I'm really not sure what it is. You know, T.A. Robinson Asphalt Paving, but he seems to have a little museum down here. Nice little vet over there, old signs, old equipment. Part of why I like coming down, starting down here. You know, old equipment, fire trucks, a lion. I don't know the deal behind the lion, but a red caboose. You gotta have a red caboose. This is actually part of the original. The Montour Trail, this was a rail line that came through here. It was a coal train. All the coal mining that went on in the South Hills here. And it came through and it kind of weaved its way through the South Hills. Usually that waterfall's running like crazy. It's been so dry.
Dry here?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're having a drought.
We had a tornado.
Did you?
Mile from our house.
It what?
Mile from our house.
Wow.
Came down the South River. This was a week ago, Wednesday, Thursday. A week ago, Thursday. It hit the homes a mile from us. We also got the warnings on our phones. Kelly had just come home, said it doesn't look good out there.
Yeah, that green sky.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we headed down to the basement, put on the news. Sure enough, they were tracking it. Telling people to take cover. And then last weekend I went to a bike. I came back, came through where it hit. And, you know, it wasn't houses were demolished, but it was like every house had a blue tarp on the roof.
Wow.
Siding ripped off. I was like, wow, it really did hit. You get out every weekend or?
We try to get out every weekend. We haven't gotten out for the last couple of weeks. Try to get out during the day a little bit. This is my favorite part of the Montour Trail. Just because we're on a bridge. That's an active rail line here that goes under there. And it just makes me think of under the Christmas tree. You know? So then we'll come up through a tunnel here and onto a bridge on the other side. We used to think these tunnels were pretty cool until we started hitting things like the Big Savage Tunnel and the Kennerdell Tunnel. And what the hell is this? So the other tunnel comes out over there and there's a bridge over there. And where we'll come out on over here, you know, it's just a couple miles on this trail. But to do it on the road, that's a long ways. So, 16 seconds, my problems haven't gone away.
Yeah, and he says, and you know, and the people that were important to me, I kind of shoved aside.
Oh.
And he says, you know, now I look back at that and they're the most important thing. You know, my family, my teachers who helped me get here, my friends. And so he goes on to tell you, that you shouldn't let the goals get in the way of what's important in life. And
from a teenage kid.
Teenage kid.
Wow.
And then he
Boy,
goes,
there's some insight.
so I'm telling you, just Google it. And he said, and then he goes into, you know, he goes into Jesus Christ, because he's from a religious school, and talks about that importance in his life, and that's the most important thing, not goals, you know, etc. So anyhow, there's another one, Admiral somebody from the University of Texas. He wrote a book. I think it's called Make Your Bed. And you make your bed every morning. And the reason is, it's one thing you control in life. And it's an accomplishment.
Okay.
That's how you start your day. And he likens it to his Navy SEAL training. You know, life, not making your bed. You know, but I think he goes back and makes some comparison that, you know, get Navy SEAL, under them, but make your bed. Yeah, etc. It's a fantastically motivating, inspirational speech. Like, again, how many people care about a graduation speech?
Yeah.
That one went viral. So look him up, Admiral, University of Texas, graduation speech, make your bed. Something like that, and you'll find it. Back at school?
School, we moved her in on the 20th, I believe.
Where's she at again, Allegheny?
Allegheny. Which is something because we'd only brought her stuff home a few weeks prior. They gave us a 2-week window. 2-week window. 2-hour window that we could go and get all her stuff out.
So
it's her 59-year-old father with a bum knee. We got 2 hours. And I was here, and she lives on the 3rd floor. You can almost hear the Mission Impossible team playing. We did it though. We got it done. And then a few weeks go by and then we move her back in. Different building. I'm gonna point this out to you. This is actually a primitive campground here. They have wood here that they collect off the trail and shelters up there.
Up where?
Up in there. Unless they took them down. Alright, well, they have the picnic tables. The shelters are usually just like something like this, where you can pitch your tent inside, protection against the wind. And a couple of these along the trail. So we're coming up here on the National Tunnel. What I think is wild is I've looked these things up on the map. This goes right underneath someone's property. You know? So there's some guy up there who's got a big hunk of property with a tunnel under it. I just find that intriguing. You might get dripped on.
Name of the tunnel?
This is the National Tunnel. I forget the name of the last one. What's that?
Yes, this is pretty much a flat trail.
Yes, all the rails to trails have no more than a 3% grade, right? Because the train can't climb more than a 3% grade.
So last weekend I did a 30 mile, and I parked in the middle, went basically 10 miles south and back, and then 5 miles north and back. 5 miles north and back is still flat, what I anticipated. The 10 miles south, I ended up on the crooked road, no shoulder. I mean, it wasn't a trail, you know, I knew that. and no shoulder. Even though it was 40, everybody doing 55, and it was all rolling. I'm like, all right, well. And then, of course, I always go where there's water. And then I bike to that area, and then I kind of weave around the side streets, looking at the houses and the views.
Just to interrupt you for a second. In the lower right corner, they actually post the elevations, so you can do the research that way. But go ahead.
So that was the one time that I did not comprehend the lay of the land. Which is fine. I mean, it didn't bother me. And like, actually, this is kind of refreshing. Because whenever you're on a bike trail, it's normally an old railroad bed and it's flat. So I didn't appreciate the road.
My wife does not like riding on the road at all, so we seek out the trails.
I don't blame them. I know people who've been hit.
Oh, I don't give her a hard time about it. But we were out in Ohio on a trail that has the very innovative name of the Bike Hike Trail. And the trailhead that we got on was on Route 309, and it was called the Route 309 Trailhead. Luckily the trail was really nice. So I made a video and I kind of abused the names the whole time, but the reason I bring it up is it just kind of ends in a neighborhood. Luckily it's a suburban neighborhood, so the cars are only doing 20-25 miles an hour, and there aren't that many. And you just come out like at the end of a dead-end street and you ride a few blocks, and there are signs that say the trail goes this way, trail goes this way. Then it takes you down another dead-end street and the trail starts again. Typically we get on a trail, we ride so many miles this way, we turn around, we go back. But on this one, because there were streets with signs and arrows, and we kind of had to pay attention because there was great potential for being lost.
Well, the interesting, just to look at this particular trail.
GoPro, start recording.
How much money the state spends.
GoPro, start recording. No, you just started recording. GoPro, stop recording. We were down in Savannah. My wife just starts freaking. There's a museum for the Mighty Eighth. The Mighty Eighth was out of London, or out of England, during World War II. And her father was part of the Mighty Eighth. He was a co-pilot. So we had to go check out that museum. He wrecked that plane. He got shot down and actually landed it. There were only a couple survivors. He smashed his hand, so they replaced his bones with some kind of plastic replacements, some kind of experimental surgery for the day. And like, it only ever worked on 2 people.
He was or wasn't one?
He was one of the ones that worked on. He had plastic bones in his hand. But yeah, you had to get up there in that thing. You're wearing maybe a flak jacket.
Of the day.
And you're not allowed to deviate from your course because the sky is black with airplanes. So if someone is coming to shoot at you, you can't veer away. And you have to rely on the fighter jets, the escorters, to take down the back. Yeah, I mean, those things had guns everywhere, so they could shoot back, but they could not deviate from their course. And then you had like the rear gunner and I forget, belly gunner, something like that, the one underneath.
Yep.
Tiny little ball that you had to fit in there.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys had nerve. Hi.
When we go down the beach, I used to take my racing bike. I love riding down here. And until you hit the beach, your tires are that much wide.
You go right into the sand, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm always happy.
Ah, I am familiar with that.
So what we got here? Anything special?
Just another bridge.
I haven't been on the C&O trail for a while. I'll have to check that out.
I've not ever heard anything nice about it.
Well, I'm assuming you still get exercise.
You do, and that's the nice thing about it. Like, if I'm going along, like I'm fine now. It says coming along, and I'm like, oh, I'm deep. I could put it in 2. I'm still moving, right? I'm still getting range of motion. I'm still getting endurance in. Might not be as much strength, but I'm still getting endurance. I'm getting range of motion. My body's moving. Where if I didn't have something like this, I'd have to stop and get off, you know? So I can take a break and keep moving. So I'm still working on endurance. Still working on range of motion. And mostly what we do to take a break, and we take a break usually because our butts hurt, not our legs.
Yeah, that's my challenge, buddy.
I do this. Might ride for a quarter mile like this.
Although I will tell you that, although I did not give into the kickstand because I wasn't supposed to, I do have a gel seat cover.
I noticed that. When we first started riding, June a year ago, and it all came out of RVing. We'd go to campgrounds and set up, and then it was like, okay, now what? You know? We'd walk around the campground. So we just learned, you know, I just said, if we want to expand our range, we got to get bicycles. Oh, shoot, I don't know. It's got to be this way.
Gel's there? Yeah. Good to know. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
Extra mileage.
It's been a long time since I've ridden this section.
It's been a long time since you what? I'm sorry?
It's been a long time since I've ridden this section. Couldn't remember. We don't really ride the trail too much anymore. The Montour Trail.
Primitive campground.
Primitive campground, yeah. So that's the shelter I was talking about. Just a 3-sided thing. You put a tent up in there. Oh, but I was talking about we were on the campground. We want to extend our range. We should get bicycles. So I bought her a bicycle, single gear. That's all she wanted. There's the cruiser set up.
Start the story again, I'm sorry.
Well, I said all the biking started from RVing.
Yeah.
And we'd go and camp, and then we'd be stuck wherever we were camping. So we got the bicycles, and now we arrange our camping to where bicycle trails are nearby. Sometimes the trail goes very near or even right through the campground, which is very convenient for us. But we got our bikes out to start training, and I got my old bicycle out of the garage and cleaned it up, and I got a mile and couldn't sit down anymore because the seat hurt my bad.
Well, that's another reason I use these combat bikes in the basement. You know, it's just, there's no hurting your ass. I'll hurt my ass on my real bike.
Well, I got another seat for it, and it was still kind of tender. So I got a gel seat cover for it, and that seemed to do the job. And the whole time saying to me, you sure you don't want bike shorts? So I'm not wearing those stupid bike shorts. I have a pair of bike shorts on right now.
Yeah. So I threw all mine out because, or gave them a giveaway, whatever, you know, because I wasn't going to fit in them anymore. and then I lost all the weight. I was like, you know, I just frickin' did that.
That's how it works. Went out and bought me a pair, and she said, just try them. So I grumble, and I tried them. We went for a ride, and I said, yeah, they're good. I like them. But even at that, if we're doing like anything less than 30, I don't wear them. If we're doing, or even if we're not even doing 30, but we're doing multiple days in a row because we're camping, I'll wear them then. They do help. But we started out, you know, we'd get 4 miles and we were like, woohoo! All right, we're 21 into it and we're done the turnaround. How you doing? I have found that if you really want people to be friendly and smile and wave, wear a camera on your head. I get all kinds of weird comments. Most of the time the camera's not on.
So, you look like one of those self-driving vehicles with that on your helmet.
41 miles, Valley Brook to wherever we were with my pal Jim. It's lunchtime. Mother.